Cylinder heads finally came in, so we're going to open it up and see what this looks like. I'll be recording this on my phone, so it might be a little shaky. Play nice. There we go. Set you down for a second. This looks easy enough to open. Another piece of tape right there. Not a whole lot of protection. As long as they're gentle in shipping, I guess it's alright. I was talking to my buddy Jeff at work earlier, and he was talking about his AFRs. Came in a crate with lots of plywood around it, top, bottom, and stuff in between with lots of cushion, so it couldn't get messed up in shipping. This is just a box in a box. Yeah, nothing special. Awesome. When I first saw the pictures, it only showed one hole, I think, up here being drilled, but this has, I don't know about all of them. Let me grab the other cylinder head. Yeah, no, we're good. We got these two holes and one over here. It doesn't have all of the holes like the Magnum, but it has some of them. Plan is to check, kind of see if there's anything in here. I'm hoping it's thick enough that I can just drill and tap. I'm not against doing some fabrication. We got these three holes. This uses one of those holes, and then we have these two holes, so if we have to, we can make something, make an adapter plate of sorts if we need to. That one gets a little more complicated, but once again, as long as this is thick enough, we can drill and tap it and we'll be alright. They are fancy. Obviously, this is an LA style, and it uses a rocker shaft. I've got my Harlan Sharp rockers over there versus the Magnum's bolt-on. We'll just grab this guy. Oh, weighs half as much as this. Oh. Turn on the flashlight and we'll look at chambers and stuff. You see the Magnum in its shape where the spark plug is, and this is just kind of flat, just a regular dish, no fancy swirl, nothing super crazy. Intake valve is much larger. This is much more cut back. This is a lot more shallow. Another advantage of these is eventually, where the Magnum's opened, this is the one that I had epoxied. If you can see it right there, or it's coming apart. I epoxied that guy and it lasted for quite a while, but these eventually we can sleeve if we need to. You can get, sorry, I know it's bouncing around a lot. You can get rocker arms on these or the Edelbrock with an offset rocker arm, and then go to like a TA style where you can move the push rod tunnels over. On these, if we want to, we could sleeve this or fill this in with a rod and then move the push rod way over. We'll just plug that, re-drill it, and then we can make this port much wider. It actually looks like it's pretty decent already. Look at that. Right where that bolt hole is for the valve cover busted through, but it'll be okay. These were $1,800 something for taxes and shipping. Of course, I'm going to have to go to a Magnum style valve, not a Magnum style, an LA style valve cover. I believe you can bolt down the Magnum valve cover. It's just the pattern flipped. But look at the shape versus this shape. And then everywhere there was a bolt where there's not, look how thin the rail is. That's going to be right on the rails. I don't see that working. So we're going to get some LA style nice valve covers. They're just supposed to have 5/8 raised exhaust runners. I'm curious if they actually are. Yeah, no, they look like they're up there a good bit. We'll use our super accurate scientific tape measure. From deck to bottom at, we'll just go with the same angle of the head, 2.5. 2.5, that's not that much different. Let's see, let's try this way. 2 3/4. 2 3/4. I had wondered if a Magnum is already raised to an LA, and when they say it's 5/8 raised, it's 5/8 raised compared to an LA. I don't have another cylinder head here to check. Tim will, though. We'll look at that. And we'll measure it a little more accurately. But that, just 5/8 raised because it says so, that may just be updating an LA to where a Magnum is. What else have we got? Obviously they're much more open. It actually looks like the CNC job was pretty decent. I can't wait to get these apart and flow them. There's a couple, not really a ridge. Oh, there's a sharp, the short term there is pretty sharp. You can see it, look right there. I'll have to fix some of that stuff. Let's look at the intake. It actually all looks pretty decent, pretty smooth. You can see where they busted through right around where the guide. Oh, they put the guide in, it busted through, so there's a little bit of quality control. That stuff's going to end up falling out of there once it starts running. Short term's definitely got a ledge on it. It's not super bad, but it's not great. I think you can barely see the edge. Yeah, you can see it. See where we're good right there. Towards the right over here, you can see where it starts. So there's some little things to address, but all in all, it's, I wouldn't say better than what I thought. I didn't really know what to think. Now, I don't think I have a new gasket here. No, I might. Yeah, here we go. There's a Magnum gasket. I was curious how close this would be compared to the Magnum intake, or the intake gasket. And it's actually pretty close in shape. Once you set that on there, the height is still a little taller, but the width is still there, which is nice. Obviously the bolt holes don't align. This is a Magnum gasket. I was worried because of the way the intake looks, which I'll show you here in a second. But that compared to a Magnum, get the light back on. That compared to a Magnum, look at the push rod tunnel right there. And this is as thin as I could get it. Obviously we busted through because we have some epoxied ones. So that is already looking significantly wider. And it's taller. I was nervous. I'm sure as cast that's probably a lot more work to do to get it caught up to a Magnum or my ported Magnum heads. And I say that because of this. I just stuck a gasket up there to look at it. Looking at this compared to the Magnum gasket made it look really tall but really skinny. It won't take a whole lot to get this manifold caught up to where that is. I've just got to get some LA gaskets, but I'm quite excited. There it is. Got one hole on one side, more holes on the other. So that kind of sucks. So I'll have to kind of figure out, unless there's lefts and rights, which I highly doubt, I guess we'll pop this guy out. I'll get this one set up next to this one and we'll eyeball those holes, but I doubt they did lefts and rights. As you can see, they did not do lefts and rights. Every head's identical. So one side will have, let's see, being an idiot. Oh, passenger side will have all the bolt holes, and the driver's side will only have, I think, this one hole. Yep. But we should be able to drill and tap. I'll figure that out. Man, lots of work ahead. But, well, anyway, this should be a fairly significant step forward. We'll have the flow numbers. I'll do another review with Tim at the flow bench when we can really get the valves out and look at it and see what it flows. Hi, Paco. If you got cast, that was awesome. You know how great that felt. We'll see what these things flow. We'll improve those areas where there's some bumps and knots in the short terms. There's a lot to address. Another quick little thing. I just happened to know Tim will fix this with his machine work, I'm sure, and we'll make them pretty nice, but I don't have a level or a straight edge. But if you look down this line of valve stem tips, come on phone, stay on one focus. I don't know if you can see that they're all a little wonky. They just got a wave. They are not all the same height. It may not be that bad. It looks like all the intakes are maybe the same and all the exhausts are maybe the same, but this one, no, these two look the same height. Yep, that's a little whack. That's why it's, when you buy these things, you really need to take them to the machine shop and have them gone through and done right and checked. Anyway, just wanted to get you guys an update and an unboxing of these cylinder heads. I don't want to go so far as to say I'm impressed, but I think just a little touch up and we'll have some pretty nice heads. And definitely room for improvement, since we can sleeve them, move push rods over, lots of things we can do. And it may not need that. It may flow more than we're ever going to need with this bottom end. I don't really plan on building anything bigger. It's got a cast crank. Eventually I may go to a forged crank and get it internally balanced just for safety, so we can rev it a little higher and not worry about it coming apart. But it's got I-beam rods. They're forged, but that doesn't mean they're really, I think they were rated at 500 horse. We're definitely going to, we're already making more than that, and we're definitely going to be making more than that now. These chambers are actually pretty decent. Well, anyway, thank you for watching. If you're new, please like, subscribe. Hopefully we'll cross 400 horsepower at the tires in a, that would be sweet. Thank you.